Greetings. It's Iron. Iron Mike MC in control. It's Iron. Sharp results, sharpens success. Here, corresponding about news that was passed down from Fox 29, the evening special about my alma mater, George Washington High School, in regards to an incident that involved a student who was assaulted. Now, on the surface, anybody being assaulted in any capacity is a bad light. Given the nature of what was actually shown of the assault to the type of a student was, the student who was assaulted would suggest the media using things in regards to preferential treatment and them attempting to stir, bring up, or even make you wonder about protecting the conservative culture of the Bustleton area of the Northeast and everything. A little overview about the school itself is that it's always had a level of integral tensions because of how it's within the public system and how it deals with the different integrations of other communities that come into it from all races abroad. So even from when I was attending a little over a decade ago, these kind of problems were evident. There isn't too much news that actually gets passed through in regards to what they call a level of violence. And there was even a quote about a father, or maybe so, saying that there are at least 2 fights a week. Given the statistical population of the school itself, considering that we have thousands of students in a decimated as is school structure, I'd find 2 to be well along the lenient law of averages in terms of providing security, safety, and make sure that everybody's welfare is accounted for. They then tried to go and give you a video, very grainy, non-HD, which I believe is attached to no credibility of anything regarding a lunchroom brawl that they tried to show, which had no kind of clear figures. There was no kind of personal recognizing identification that you could actually put on the lunchroom itself and knowing that that was where something like that happened. So that might, be mocked in, a certain regard. The student, as of whatever point, doesn't feel, I believe, safe, as he was unfortunately a member of a random attack or anything like that. But for what goes into student teen-on-teen violence and everything, and the coverage capacity of how that was presented over other things, there are people all across the city in different various, public school setups that deal with far worse, many more inconveniences, and that things happen to get underreported or maybe even swept under the rug altogether. It's just interesting in how when news lacks the depth at providing, the mass opinions of how it, corresponds or reports to you, how you can just pull little things like this from a hat to where somebody was at the wrong place around the wrong people who just happened to have no more than a scab, like literally, above his head. And that's not to discount whatever this student went under, but it just reminds me of selective targeting and trying to affirm particular classes' shame or fear into the generation of certain violent acts that could be happening everywhere. But this is also another case of one that needs to be looked at from a looking glass of, well, if we have to say something about this here, we must also correspond with this type of news that happens, I don't know, in Edison, Kensington, Dobbins, West Philly, and everything in between that. So I just wanted to really bring what was actual, or what could be conventionally thought upon the situation as it pertained to what Fox 29 had reported about this. There will be an open dialogue on my personal Facebook account regarding my alma mater and the members of the alumni and people that I could actually touch out in contextual communication on that. This is just the general video. This is the reaction sign. Iron Mike 215.